FORA.tv. The world is thinking.
From at least the administration of Dwight Eisenhower, it has been official American policy to encourage the political union of Europe. We have been officially among the European Union's biggest fans.
That's correct.
Terrible mistake?
Well, not at the time. I mean, at the time we're in a Cold War.
Right.
And there's, you know, a unified Europe is a better ally. You have France and Italy, strong communist parties in France and Italy. That represents the possibility that Europe could slowly, you know, be lost to the democratic camp. But a unified Europe would be a stronger Europe. So I think it made sense at the time.
But we need to adjust.
Well,
what about NATO? Here's,
yeah.
As long ago as the 1980s, Irving Kristol used to say, wait a moment. It made sense for us to be defending Europe after the war when they were still getting back on their feet. But per capita in the 1980s, I can't remember, but his general argument was they're fine now. They're at least as wealthy as the United States now. They should be shouldering more of their burden.
Absolutely.
And why? Not purely for economic reasons. Irving Kristol would warn a quarter of a century ago that we were going to infantilize the Europeans. We were going to make them incapable of facing reality and dependent on us. And it sounds to me as though that's part of the thesis right here. So NATO was a mistake.
Well, I think now it's outlived its usefulness.
So why do we have 50,000 troops in Germany even now?
I don't know.
This is ridiculous on the face of it.
I think so. I think that we need some tough love with Europe. I mean, Europe, the EU,
tell me what the United States should do if there's anything that can be done.
The EU says it's not a bipolar world anymore. It's a multipolar world. And we're one of the major poles because of our population, of our wealth, et cetera, our influence. Okay, but look, guys, the only thing that makes you significant in global politics is the military. Bottom line, your ability to project force to work your will. Now, the disaster in the 90s in the Balkans exposed the pathetic weakness.
Should we have refused to go in and force the Europeans to deal with that mess on their own?
I think there's a good argument to be made for that.
What about Kosovo today? Kosovo today has a 90% Albanian ethnic population, a Muslim population. The Serbs have historic claims to Kosovo. It's a mess, and that population has just declared independence. And we and the British and the French, the Germans, I think, recognized this new country within 48 hours or so. It is utterly defenseless against the Serbs.
Absolutely.
Should we say to the Europeans, okay, fine, you take care of that problem?
Well, let's say that the Russians begin to mass some divisions on the border. At that point, would say, okay, boys, time to step up to the plate. You know what I mean?
To the Germans and the French.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because they're a free rider on NATO. Let's be clear. They are a free rider. We pretend that NATO is this alliance where everybody... The United States provides the vast bulk of everything that makes NATO work. And at some point, we need to say, if you want this to continue, the contributions have to be equal. Look at in Afghanistan now. The NATO troops from Germany, they don't want to put them in harm's way. And the Canadians are like, hey, wait a minute, you know.
The Canadians are taking casualties, right?
Exactly. It's like everybody contributes equally, and we're letting them have a free ride. Let me make another point I think that's important. If we have a globalized world, which we do, no question, a globalized economy, there has to be a policeman, right? Somebody has to make sure that transports can sail the seas, and who's going to play that role? Right now, the United States is playing that role. Europe is a free rider on that, right? They benefit from our security that we provide. And so it's time to say, we all have to contribute. We all have to provide the weapons, spend the money on battleships, you know, on all of that sort of material.